My quirky topic today is about the airlines and about business meetings. Now, if I was to take a poll right now, I would find that everybody attending this program has in fact had many business meetings this year, perhaps even business meetings on Zoom and other sort of platforms than they probably had in the pre-pandemic days. This is because it's become very easy to have video conferences and audio conferences. Everybody's getting used to them, and probably thirdly, didn't have many other choices. However, these are the same people that are having these meetings, are the same people who didn't get on airplanes and didn't travel. So it makes us wonder if the new competitor to companies like American Airlines, United Airlines, Lufthansa, and others isn't these types of Zoom type platforms, these meeting platforms, in contrast to just other airlines. So I want you to think about this a little bit, because perhaps what we've seen is a rethinking, or we're going to see a rethinking of the airlines' business model. So the airlines have always been in the business of transporting people. Sure, they also transport some cargo below the floorboards, but generally they transport people. That's their business model. They spend enormous amounts of money trying to figure out what kind of food to feed people or not feed people. They figure out boarding procedures. They figure out ticketing processes and procedures. They spend an enormous amount of time paying attention to customers and the best way and the most comfortable and convenient way to transport customers. But today, they're competing, not by any choice of their own, they're competing with these online meeting platforms. So that makes us wonder if going forward, the business model doesn't wrap around transporting of people, but what it wraps around is the connecting of people. So think about this. The airlines, let's use the business sector, not the leisure sector. The business sector is where all the profits come from generally. And so when we look at this, we ask the question, if their job is now connecting people and they have a new brand, a new type, a new dimension of competitor, should they be thinking about a go-to-market strategy, as we say, a leading at the speed of the customer strategy that addresses this connection versus transport? Now, if they did that, wouldn't they be in the market to acquire a company like Zoom or LogMeIn or Blue Jeans or maybe even WebEx? Oh, sure, those would be expensive acquisitions. But you have to wonder, is an airplane the way of the modern version or a modern analog of the Kodak film problem? Didn't see, or they perhaps saw, but they ignored the change in the marketplace, the change in customer demands, the change in technology. They ignored that, and they ended up being a has-been player in the industry, in the camera and the film and the photographic industry. Could the same thing happen to the airlines? And so what price should an acquisition go out for? What should one be willing to pay if possible obsolescence is the alternative? That's my curious and quirky thoughts for the day, wondering if the airlines shouldn't be thinking about a business model that wraps around the idea not of transporting people, but of connecting people. And I want you to be thinking about the implications of that to the company, to its customers, and to its shareholders.